Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today is a sit down video where I'm going to be breaking down some of the more notable parts that I thought were notable in the brand new behind the scenes halfway through production of Stranger Things 5 video. I've never been more excited for a season of television in my life. Trying to ignore the fact that it's the last one and this is like some of the last times we'll get any kind of videos like this. That's besides the point. This is very exciting. This is the first time we're getting like genuine video action of the season so far. If you have been following along as a huge Stranger Things fan, Ross Stuffer has actually been posting a lot of like behind the scenes photo dumps on his Instagram. He's kind of slowed down, which is a little sad, but that's besides the point. Today's very exciting because it's also the 8-year anniversary of the premiere of the first season, which is kind of crazy to say that it's been 8 years. In 2 years it'll be 10. I don't want to talk about that. I have my favorite moments written down in this brand new notebook that I got from Toys R Us the other day. Stranger Things. Looks like a VHS tape. Love it. But yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. So one of the first characters that we see in the video is Dustin, and he's biking to a very familiar place that we saw in season 4, which is the cemetery, which we can only assume that he's going to visit Eddie's grave. And then as we get further into the video, we see a group shot of all of them, and Dustin looks a little beat up in the face. He doesn't look great, y'all. And then again, further on into the video, we see a shot of Dustin again, but we also see Ross and everyone else and the basketball boys. So we can only assume that the basketball boys found Dustin at the cemetery and they beat him up, because we've also gotten behind the scene photos of Eddie's grave and there's a bunch of spray paint on it, and obviously a lot of the town still doesn't like him because they still think that he murdered a bunch of people. And so I could only assume that Dustin really goes there to like clean the grave, go say hi and everything like that, because we also see that he's got the long hair, he's starting to wear rings, he wants to be just like Eddie, he wants to continue on his legacy. So it's very sweet, but it's very sad to see him that way. So I'm not looking forward to that scene, but it will probably be happening, unfortunately. And then we get a shot of the core 4. And to me, I feel like it's going to be so weird to see the 4 of them interact as like a team, because genuinely, we've never seen that. We've never seen it just be the 4 of them, other than in season 1 when they're playing D&D at the beginning and at the end. And then a little bit in season 2, you know, when they're trying to see who Max is and like trying to get to know her. But other than that, it's always been the 4 of them plus Elle or Max or somebody else. It's never really been like the 4 of them just kind of going off and doing whatever the hell they're doing. So it's going to be very weird to see them, but I'm also still very excited. I'm mostly excited for Lucas, honestly. His outfits look so good this season, okay? And then we get a shot of the tunnel, or a tunnel, like the ones that we see in season 2. Season 2 stands, let's rise up, because I am one of them, and I'm very excited to see that. They finally have a ladder. So are they revisiting the tunnels, or is it going to be a flashback? Like, what's it gonna be? What are we getting for these tunnels? The ladder makes me believe that it's not a flashback, but they're revisiting, because maybe they're gonna be like, well, where the hell do we go? Where do we find? And then they go back to the pumpkin patch, and then they're like, there was a tunnel here. Remember when we set it on fire? Let's see if it's still lit. Oh my gosh, and the parts where Sadie's going through the costume department, I need to go in there. If they end up having like a warehouse sale or something on the costumes, I'm flying my ass out to Georgia and taking it all, because I love the 80s. 80s fashion is my shit. And I love Stranger Things, obviously, and all of the costumes that they wear or haven't worn or whatever. Like, that place looks like my Disney World, and I already love Disney World, so, but it just looks like it the most fun. And Sadie going through all the clothes, like, oh my god, I want to be there. I want to be there so bad. And then we see Finn in the Wheeler basement. It's just like a set, but seeing him in the basement is so bittersweet, because it's like, that is the place. That is the meeting place for every character in every season. Like, they always end up there, and it's just so bittersweet to see, especially when we see Finn and we actually see his face and he kind of like looks off to the side. You could just picture him in season 1, 2, and 3 doing that, and it's really just like, oh my god, everyone's grown up. And it's fucked up, okay? It's fucked up. And then we see Joyce, and she's giving very much season 2 vibes with her outfit and her hair. Like, her hair, oh my god, finally, there was something going on with her hair in season 4 that I really can't understand. I think it was the fake bangs, and I think she also had like extensions in her hair, maybe, I don't know, but her hair looked really weird to me in season 4. And then we see Holly in her room, and all the lights are flickering and everything. And from other behind the scenes photos, we have seen that Ross gave us a behind the scenes photo of her room before already, and like kind of what set pieces are in there. And we've also seen behind the scene photos of Mike, Will, and Holly. They're all biking around. Like, we know that they're going to have they're going to have a mini storyline, I believe, and anything that has to do with Holly is going to be going on. And somebody leaked some possible episode titles, and one of them is The Disappearance of Blank Wheeler, and with this you have to assume that it's going to be the disappearance of Holly Wheeler. And we've also seen Holly in a behind the scenes photo with Jamie, plays Henry, aka Vecna, aka One. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what they're gonna be doing with Holly, and as we know, she's also been recasted, so it's gonna be interesting for sure. And then speaking of Wheeler siblings, the next notable kind of scene in the video is Nancy and Mike. And Nancy is looking at Mike very sweetly. This is the first time we're getting a sibling moment between the two of them, I'm pretty sure, since season 1. Like, we don't get them one-on-one ever. And even then, in that scene, it seems like Mike is off and talking to other people as well, so there could be other people in the scene, but the fact that it's zoomed in on Nancy looking at Mike, and like the way that she's looking at him kind of is giving like, oh my god, so much of your life has been dedicated to whatever the hell's going on in Hawkins, and you're just a kid. I cannot believe that you have to go through all of this. Oh, it's gonna be so sad. Anyways, and then after that we get a huge shot of the high school, and the Hawkins High School, for some weird reason, the high school and the arcade are my two favorite like exterior shot kind of places, and I just really love the high school. And it's very weird to see that the high school is just like, hey, up and running again. So there has to be a time jump where they get Hawkins cleaned up, everything's fine again. Obviously the 4 ripples through the town have been cleaned up and whatever, because they are just going to school like everything's normal. When the school was used as sort of a safe haven thing. So I'm very curious to see how a time jump is going to work into the show. I do have faith that it's going to make sense and that things are going to interconnect and be fine, but you can never be too sure. We get Steve. We get shots of Steve. One, he's talking with Sean Levy and he has a cut on his cheek. Don't hurt my husband, please. And then we get a shot of him in the car and he's beside Jonathan. And we also have gotten this behind the scenes picture of Nancy and Jonathan in a car as well, and it's Steve's car. He's got that red sort of BMW, and I'm just very excited to see the team up that is Jonathan, Nancy and Steve. Like, that's a dream team up in my mind, okay? And then we see Hopper. It looks like he has a gun. He looks cold. I don't know what he's doing. They better not send his ass back to Russia or anything like that. Like, he's just doing side quests, always. What is Hopper doing? We don't know. Hey, we don't know. And then speaking of the Nancy, Jonathan, Steve team up, we get the shot. The shot. This is my favorite shot in the whole video of Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, and Dustin. And Nancy looks breathtaking. That outfit is everything. It honestly, it's kind of, to me, giving homage to season 1, but it's just elevated, you know, like she's older and she's like, here I am. And I love it. Love her hair. I love all of their outfits, honestly. The outfits in this season, they're gonna kill me, okay? Like, I'm a very outfit oriented person. I love clothes. I love all this other stuff, kind of like I said about the costume department. Let me in there. I will be like a kid in a candy store. Thank you. Then we see this shot of Vecna, and then the last shot is also Elle. She's doing her little hand thing, you know what I mean? And obviously we're going to get Elle versus Vecna again, but in what context? I don't really like Elle's costumes though. I don't know what they're doing with her, unfortunately. So, and then we also get a shot of Robin and Joyce, and that's another thing that I'm very excited for this season, is getting a bunch of sort of random team ups that you would never really expect, because all of the characters are finally pushed together in the same storyline. In my mind, like, there could be mini storylines here and there, but I feel like this is going to be the first season in literally forever where all of the characters are sort of forced to be together. The original characters, at least, they're forced to be together. They're not off like how in season 2 we had Mike, Joyce, Bob, and Hopper with Will at the hospital, and then Elle was off on her own in season 2, and then we had all the rest of the kids with Steve and everything like that. Like, and then season 3, how we had Joyce, Murray, Hopper, Alexi storyline, and then we had the kids sort of again with Nancy and Jonathan, and then we had the Scoops Troops. This is the first season in a very, very long time that all of these characters are forced to come together and work together fully as a unit. No more splitting up. I swear to God. And then the last notable kind of scene in the video is season 1 Will, and he's falling from a tree, or he's being flown around by something. I don't know. Vecna, maybe. But that is where we're going to end off, in talking about the fact that we know that this season opens up with Will, season 1 Will in the Upside Down. And kind of like season 4, how the first 8 minutes of the season were dedicated to us knowing about how the gate started and how Elle opened up a gate and everything, but we just didn't know how, and then we went through the journey of season 4 to find out how. In the first few minutes of this season, I do believe we're actually going to see what Will genuinely endured when he was in the Upside Down, because we actually still don't know how he got there, how they brought him, like how anything that picked him up brought him there, and everything like that. So we are going to see what this child went through, and it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be very intense. So, and maybe we're finally going to learn why Vecna, in my mind, chose Will, because obviously we, especially with season 4, we've been, or they have been trying to connect Henry and Will in the same way, because their stories and the way that they are spoken about as characters are very similar. You know how Joyce in season 1 and 2, she says he's different, kids make fun of him, like he's a sensitive boy. That's exactly how Henry was described by Victor in season 4. And so we're going to find out the connection, I believe, between Henry and Will this season. And then I thought about this the other day. A lot of people think that Will is going to end up having powers. I personally hope that he doesn't, but I would think that the only way that he would be able to also have powers, in thinking about the MK Ultra experiment and how Terry Ives, Elle's mom, was a part of it, and thinking about how that is how Elle got her powers, was through the MK Ultra, I honestly would think that out of the two parents, Joyce and Lonnie, maybe Lonnie was a part of MK Ultra and then something happened. Because Will and Elle are the same age, Terry and Lonnie are about the same age, so they would have been doing MK Ultra about the same time. But that's just a little theory that I've been thinking in my head. It's like, I think the only way to explain as to why Will would have powers is that one of his parents would have been part of MK Ultra or something or other, I don't know. But yeah, that is my breakdown of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If I missed anything that you guys noticed, let me know in the comments below what you guys think and how excited you guys are for this newest season. And don't think about how it's the last one and how these are like the last couple exciting things that we're getting forever. I don't want to think about it. But yeah, I'll see you guys later.